We are wasting a lot of time and money.
Why am I not able to find a single person that's not a politician in favor of Bill C-21? I can find all sorts of news articles about how it wouldn't do much, but I can't seem to find one person that says that Bill C-21 is desperately needed in Canada. But I can find this guy on the CCFR channel who just irritates me.
So, Madam Speaker, this legislation is necessary. We need to move forward with it. We need to protect Canadian lives. We need to listen to the chiefs of police that I've already quoted in here earlier so that we can save lives in Canada and stop playing games to the benefit of some people in this country that are trying to promote, and rightfully so, their position on the matter, but unfortunately are completely intertwined with the Conservative Party.
Oh, you're not in favor of Bill C-21. That must mean you align with those stinky conservatives. And you probably know by now who that makes you equivalent to. It has been about 6 months since Canadian Bill C-21 has proposed the end of airsoft, paintball, and possibly even more that I technically can't really speak on here on the USAirsoft channel in fear of this video being suppressed. But that was 6 months ago, and the fight's not over yet. It seems like a lot of the attention that this topic was getting has fizzled out. But it has been developing in a more controlled fashion thanks to the people at ASAC, lots of petition signers, CCFR, and the majority of Canadian airsofters. But if you need a little refresher over how things are going in Canada and how they could actually cause some strange things to happen in your country, then I have got a very talented YouTuber that I need you to pay attention to, and his name is USAirsoft. He's gonna fill you in, and of course his channel and the link to his original video will be linked in the description, and I highly suggest that you check out his channel as soon as you can. But for right now, I need you to listen to this.
Proposed changes to the federal firearms legislation have the paintball and air rifle industries concerned their hobbies and businesses aren't going to survive.
It likely means the end of airsoft as a sport.
This week, the Liberal government unveiled new gun control legislation.
Virtually all airsoft guns in Canada will be banned.
As it stands, Bill C-21 will ban outright all airsoft guns, causing some 1,500 Canadians to lose their jobs in the process.
It will basically signal the end of airsoft in Canada.
Hundreds of businesses closed, thousands of employees out of work, and over 65,000 players with nowhere to play. In order to understand how we got to this point, we got to go back to the beginning.
Are you rushing all the way around? All right.
Back when times were simpler, Airsoft was a household name for players all around the world, including Canada. It was an escape for younger children to involve and enjoy themselves in a sport that encouraged their imaginations.
Hey lads! 1.5 joule, not something to play around with. What the f***?
As this pastime grew, the community grew with it. Many of the children that used to play began to adopt the sport into their adult lives as a way to stay healthy, happy, and engage with their friends. As the years passed, these get-togethers between friends began to develop into small communities, which, when given enough time, evolved into a $100 million industry. In 1990, a bill was passed that banned all replica firearms. And I know what you're thinking, shouldn't airsoft have been banned a long time ago? Well, that's where things get a little bit tricky. Despite the ban on replica firearms, airsoft, Nerf, and paintball have all been able to prosper due to the fact that a technicality protected them from the 1990s replica firearms ban. These toys, while replicating real firearms, fired a projectile, which technically means they weren't replicas, but because of the fact that the projectiles were fired at such a low velocity, they weren't regulated as firearms either. This left our beloved sport in a legal limbo where nearly no restrictions were imposed. This is where Bill C-21 comes in.
Money.
It's February 16th, 2021. Today is quite possibly the darkest day to fall upon Airsoft as a whole. When we think about what could bring such an untimely demise to Airsoft in Canada, one name comes to mind, and that name is Bill Blair. Bill Blair is a liberal politician, and like pretty much every other politician on the planet, is literally the scum of the earth. This man cares more about money and getting votes than actually helping his fellow Canadians. This can't be made more clear than when he proposed Bill C-21, which bans every single firearm, including Nerf guns, because Nerf guns obviously pose a serious threat to Canadians. It's still not exactly clear why Bill Blair wanted to target Airsoft, but I think I figured it out. As a politician, your career depends solely on numbers, and if people are saying that they're going to vote for you because you promised to take guns off the street, it would sound a lot better if you took, instead of just 10,000 guns off the street, 250,000. Now obviously for you and I, airsoft guns don't count as real guns, but for the everyday average pea-brained voter, a gun is a gun, and all of these spineless voters is exactly what this sick bastard was counting on. So Mr. Blair and some of his lawyers began working on a document called Bill C-21.
Oh, my loyal friend. You know it would be absolutely hilarious. What would that be, dear Bill Blair? I think you have the greatest ideas. Well, if you must know, I was thinking of banning Airsoft entirely. Wouldn't that be hilarious? But Mr. Bill, do you even have a reason to ban Airsoft? That's the best part, you see. I don't. Absolutely brilliant, sir. I'll get right on that.
And just like that, Bill Blair and his lawyer began working on Bill C-21. The widespread pain and suffering that was going to come from Bill C-21 didn't even faze them, because all they could think about was all the yachts that they were going to buy with all the money. All joking aside, what does Bill C-21 actually do? I'm gonna keep this relatively short because pretty much everyone and their uncle has talked about this, and I'm sure you guys already know exactly what Bill C-21 does, so let's get right through this. Essentially, all airsoft guns can no longer be traded, sold, or imported, and seeing as our sport relies on new players to stay alive, it would eventually mean the end of airsoft entirely in Canada because no new players would be joining. Now, while the future of airsoft in Canada might not be certain, one thing's for sure.
Now, it's my problem.
In a stunning turn of events, Speedsofters and Milsimps began to work together to fight this horrible legislation, and this massive army has only one leader, Ricky Berwick.
Bill C-21. What a piece of crap that is! But it's airsoft. It's not real, and the government wants to ban it? No way, Jose! It's a goddamn sport! Leave my airsoft alone!
Thanks to Ricky's speech, along with hundreds of other videos created by airsoft YouTubers, awareness about Bill C-21 began to spread. The media began to pick up on the story, leading to even more awareness, which in turn caused a chain reaction to occur. More airsofters began to hear about the danger that their sport was in, and they began to join the force. Petitions were created and people signed them. So far, the support seemed to be overwhelming, but that was 4 months ago. Since then, people have just stopped talking about it. It's almost like it doesn't even exist, but the threat is still very real. And that's why I'm here today, to tell you guys that our fight is not over. Airsoft is still at risk in Canada, and we gotta help our boys out. If you live in Canada and you play Airsoft, there's actually a lot of stuff that you can do to help stop this bill from passing, but first I want to address everyone that lives in other countries besides Canada like myself, and give you guys a guide on how you can help. Now, first and foremost, there are some petitions that you can sign that are non-Canadian residents only, and I've left a link to those in the description, which you guys can check out after the video. If you live in Canada, however, you can actually do quite a bit more. You can write to your local MPs and tell them how this bill is going to seriously and dramatically affect your lifestyle and how it's going to affect your community. And there's going to be a link to a video which will go super in depth on how to do that, because it is quite a process, but every letter counts, so please make sure you do that if you live in Canada. It will make a difference. For some people, airsoft is just a sport, but for a lot of us, airsoft is a way of life. And to have that taken away because of some political agenda would just be a shame. So let's try and work together and make sure this doesn't happen. Make sure you guys stay tuned, and I'll update the series if anything dramatic happens in the story. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure you subscribe and like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Like I said, the fight isn't over. Bill C-21 can still pass, and if you think this doesn't affect you, well, there's a possibility that your home country could take some interest if Bill C-21 does pass. So in the description of this video down below, there will be several links that you can make use of. You'll have links that will take you to petitions that you can sign either if you're a Canadian or if you live outside of Canada. You'll have an MP locator and so much more. This seriously affects us all as airsofters and as paintballers, and you really need to take this threat seriously. And if you're only willing to do one thing for me, then let it be this. Share this video with as many of your friends and with as many groups as possible so we can get the attention this cause needs. Not to sound like Gandalf or anything, but Bill C-21 cannot pass. People shouldn't go without a job because of this. Of course, I would like to thank anyone who helps in any way, and I would like to thank USAirsoft who allowed me to reshare his video to my audience. And of course, I would like to thank the USAirsoft channel members who help support everything I do here. So thank you to Super Cyborg, Pinkatron, Beaver Gaming 64, Western Gilbert, Faded Pilot Props, and everyone else you see on your screen now. Every member directly helps the channel do bigger and better things with better equipment, so I owe you all my gratitude. These are also the people that told me that I needed to make this video. And if you're considering joining them, then just hit the join button next to the subscribe button, or use the link in the description. But again, before I go, I just really want to thank everyone who brings attention to this video or just to the cause of Bill C-21 in the first place. Even if you make your own video, I implore you to actually do that. Make your own video over Bill C-21 and how we can actually help the Canadians here. Because I've said it so many times, it doesn't just stop there. If your country likes what happens in Canada if Bill C-21 passes, then you might be dealing with your own airsoft ban in the future. But until that next video drops from the city of San Antonio, this has been Scott Hollenbeck, and I will be sure to see you all next time.